Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
The sterile white walls of the Galactic Operations Center buzzed with energy as personnel scurried about like ants in a hive, each focused on their tasks, tracking star systems, monitoring intergalactic communications, and handling various alien species. Among them was Alex Finn, a ruggedly handsome human in his early 30s, with black hair and steely eyes that had seen more than their fair share of battles. Today, however, was not just any other day for Alex. Today, he was about to receive an unexpected accolade. Alex had just returned from a dangerous mission on the fringes of the Omega Sector, where he risked his life to retrieve precious data on a hostile alien race. His heart had raced as he piloted his ship through the asteroid field, narrowly avoiding destruction. But success bred its own kind of weariness. He was exhausted, bruised, and still had the taste of adrenaline coursing through his veins. As he walked through the main hall, he noticed a small group of his fellow agents gathered around an impressive podium. Voices rose in excitement, the atmosphere electric with anticipation. Curious, Alex made his way over, noticing Commander Ilara standing proudly beside a glass case. "Ladies and gentlemen," Ilara announced, her voice commanding attention as she gestured toward Alex. "It is with great pleasure that we recognize Agent Finn for his bravery and ingenuity." Cheers erupted, and Alex felt the warmth of their approval wash over him, an acknowledgement he had long desired. He stepped forward, a humble smile gracing his lips, but before he could bask in the applause, a shimmering light caught his eye. Commander Ilara reached into the case and carefully lifted a small, delicate creature. The crowd fell silent, eyes wide with intrigue. It was a tiny alien woman, about 2 feet tall, with iridescent skin that shimmered shades of blue and green under the fluorescent lights. Her elongated ears twitched as she blinked large, luminous eyes, curiosity mingling with a hint of mischief. "This is Kala," Ilara continued, her voice softer now, "a member of the Emeri species, known for their unique bonding capabilities. She will be your companion, a symbol of your accomplishments." Kala looked around, seeming unbothered by the scrutiny. With a swift movement, she slid down from Ilara's hands with surprising grace, landing lightly on the floor. As she stood, her eyes locked onto Alex's with an intensity that sent a shiver down his spine. "What exactly am I supposed to do with her?" Alex asked, raising an eyebrow. Suddenly, he felt a mix of confusion and trepidation. This was a peculiar reward. "She will assist you on missions, and in time, she may even become your ally in more ways than one," Ilara explained, her tone teasing. Before Alex could respond, Kala scurried toward him, her petite form almost disappearing in the crowd. With a swift motion, she gripped his leg with her tiny hands, her nimble fingers warming against his skin. "What?" he stammered, unable to form a complete thought as the peculiar alien woman refused to let go. The crowd laughed, and Alex felt his cheeks flush. "We call it a ritual of attachment. Trust me, it's a sign of her loyalty." Ilara chuckled, a twinkle in her eye. Alex tried to shake off the awkwardness while mentally sorting through the implications of having an alien as his companion. He couldn't grasp the cultural significance behind this gesture, but felt the weight of her gaze as though she were peering into his soul. As he stood there, partially embarrassed and intrigued, Alex felt a strange sense of excitement. Who was this tiny alien woman, and what adventures lay ahead for them both? He shook off his earlier hesitation. There was a universe out there waiting, and maybe, just maybe, Kala might turn out to be the ally he never knew he needed, even if she was literally clinging to his leg. In the following days, life with Kala became a whirlwind of laughter, confusion, and unexpected challenges. Alex found himself adjusting to the bizarre reality of having a tiny alien woman attached to his leg. However, he learned that this was more than just a physical bond. It was a cultural phenomenon he was gradually beginning to understand. As they settled into a routine, Kala's quirks revealed themselves in amusing ways. During briefings with his team, she perched precariously on his shoulder, attentive eyes darting around, absorbing everything with a childlike wonder. Her laughter chimed like tiny bells, punctuating the scientific discussions with unexpected levity. "Is it normal for her to act like this?" one of his colleagues, Maya, whispered, barely suppressing her laughter. "Apparently, it's a sign of affection in her culture," Alex replied, shaking his head in disbelief as T'Challa clung to him, eyes glimmering especially while Alex raised his hand to gesture. But while T'Challa thrived in the chaotic environment of the Galactic Operations Center, Alex struggled with her unwavering attachment. The first time he attempted to walk away, she squeaked in alarm and scurried after him, her tiny feet pattering against the metallic floor. "Hey, I just need to grab my gear," he protested, but she grasped tightly around his ankle, eyes wide. He sighed, knowing deep down that this was a sign of connection, something he had been missing in his own life. Later that evening, as they relaxed in his quarters, Alex watched T'Challa explore the small space. She climbed the stacks of HoloBooks he collected over the years, stopping occasionally to peek at the cover designs and assess their content. Despite her small stature, the alien woman maneuvered with impressive agility, darting from one surface to the next with grace. "What do you think?" he asked, sitting cross-legged on the floor, amused as she flicked her long ears toward him in delight. "You like reading?" She paused, her luminous eyes narrowing in thought. With deliberate movements, she jumped back to his shoulder, her favorite perch, and placed a tiny hand against his cheek. "Learn," she insisted in her melodic yet broken English, her voice a soothing hum. "Learn together." The simplicity of her request tugged at his heartstrings, forging a deeper connection. T'Challa had a profound sense of curiosity that mirrored the wonder Alex felt when he first embarked on his space adventures. In that moment, he realized that he could provide her with knowledge about humanity, just as she could introduce him to the wonders of her own culture. "Okay, what do you want to learn first?" he asked playfully, eager to engage. "Human customs," she replied, her tiny finger tapping against her lips as she thought. "Food dance bonding." "Okay, food first." Alex chuckled, standing up abruptly. "Let me show you what we eat." He led her to the kitchen area, where he grabbed a selection of human snacks, a bowl of fruits, assorted nuts, and a package of chips. He decided to make a point, holding a bright red apple up to her eye level. "All right, you want to try some human food?" he asked, carefully slicing the apple in half. Her eyes sparkled with anticipation as she sniffed the air curiously. With a fleeting sense of vulnerability, he offered her a small slice. She hesitated for a moment, but then took it, biting into the apple with gusto. The crunch echoed in the quiet room, and her expression morphed from curiosity to sheer delight. "Yum!" T'Challa exclaimed, her enthusiasm infectious as she grabbed another piece, now audibly munching like a satisfied baby. Alex laughed, reassured that he could offer her this simple pleasure. The bond he was beginning to cultivate with T'Challa felt fragile yet powerful, a connection that transcended words and species. After indulging in their makeshift feast, Alex suggested they try out some dances, humorously imitating a traditional human dance. Fully aware of how ridiculous he must have looked, T'Challa burst into laughter, twirling around him with glee, her movements fluid and expressive in ways Alex could only admire. With each step, they began to learn more about each other. It became evident that T'Challa excelled in rhythm, her body flowing effortlessly to the beat of the imaginary music playing in their minds. In return, she urged Alex to loosen up, and soon, they were both dancing in unison, her instincts guiding him in ways he never expected. As laughter echoed through their quarters, Alex felt the knot of tension he'd carried for years begin to unravel. Maybe this unusual partnership could blossom into something beautiful. He could push aside his fears of vulnerability, trusting that T'Challa wanted the same connection he longed for. Yet, beneath the blooming friendship lay unspoken challenges. Alex understood that T'Challa's loyalty came with risks, attention from those who might see her as a valuable asset. And amidst their playful bonding, a shadow loomed on the horizon, threatening their newfound companionship. But as that moment of joy unfurled, Alex chose to focus on T'Challa's unwavering laughter. He couldn't help but believe that together, they would navigate whatever obstacles lay ahead. The binding threads of fate had intertwined them, and neither of them was prepared to sever that connection, no matter the cost. As the weeks rolled on, the bond between Alex and T'Challa deepened, morphing from a peculiar partnership into an inseparable friendship. Yet, Alex found himself increasingly curious about Tkala's culture. Her alien customs and ways of life fascinated him, and he was eager to know more about the world she came from. One afternoon, while relaxing in his quarters, Alex gathered the courage to ask, "Tkala, can you tell me more about your people? I want to understand you better." Her bright eyes sparkled at the request, and she hopped onto a stack of HoloBooks beside him. "Imeri are bound by heart," she began, her tone serious for the first time. "We bond deeply, spirit and flesh. It is rare and precious. Bonding, like what we do." He probed gently, wanting to learn more about the implications of her words. "Yes," she exclaimed, her diminutive voice filled with enthusiasm. "When Imeri bond, it creates a connection, a shared life." She held her small hands together, palms touching. "Trust, love, protect." Alex felt the enormity of her declaration and swallowed hard. To her, their attachment held profound meaning. He thought back to how she refused to let go of his leg on that first day, the cultural significance starting to resonate with him on a deeper level. "So what happens during your bonding rituals?" he asked, intrigued. In response, Tkala's gaze grew serious, and she began to recount tales from her past. "When an Imeri chooses a partner, we hold a ceremony under the moons. We share words, song, dance, gifts of heart," she explained, drawing intricate shapes in the air with her fingers. "It signifies unity, acceptance." Alex listened intently, captivated by her stories. The depth of emotion in her descriptions was palpable, and he took a moment to absorb just how significant this was to her. "Have you ever participated in one?" he inquired, cautious yet curious. Her expression shifted, a flicker of sadness rippling across her features. "No, I was lost to the stars before it could happen." The revelation struck Alex like a punch to the gut. Tkala had never experienced the joy of a true bonding ceremony. He felt the weight of her unfulfilled longing, and his heart ached for her. "I'm sorry," he said, genuine sorrow evident in his voice. But Tkala's spirit quickly returned. "But now, we learn together. You teach me your ways," she said, her optimism shining through. "Maybe we create our own ritual? Human and Imeri." The spark of an idea ignited in Alex's mind, merging excitement with trepidation. "You mean, like a blending of our cultures for ceremony?" He could hardly believe the suggestion, but understood how meaningful it could be for both of them. "Yes, it can be an adventure," Tkala chirped, her enthusiasm contagious. Emboldened by her joy, Alex decided it was time to dive deeper into his own cultural roots and figure out how to combine their traditions in a way that honored both of their heritages. "All right, let's do some research. We'll figure out what a bonding ceremony looks like on my side, and we can create something unique together," he said, buoyed by the thought of collaborating with her. The next day, Alex pulled up holofiles on human bonding rituals, weddings, celebrations, parties, examining details that seemed trivial but held prolonged significance. Tkala asked questions that dug into cultural nuances, making observations that highlighted differences and similarities between their worlds. "Music is important?" she asked as they explored traditional wedding songs, her head bobbing to the rhythm. "Very much so," Alex replied, tapping his finger against the console to bring up varying beats and styles. "And dance is a way to express joy and connection. We could create something that celebrates both of our cultures." As he auditioned songs, Alex tried to imagine the scene Tkala had painted of their ceremony, their union beneath the twin moons of her planet, a mix of human exuberance and Imeri elegance. The thought intrigued him, and for the first time in his life, he found himself excited about the prospects of commitment and connection, even beyond the playful antics they had shared. As the hours passed, a sense of camaraderie blossomed. He taught her the lyrics to a few popular human songs, and she, in turn, hummed some melodious notes from her planet. They laughed as Tkala tried to mimic the human pronunciations, her melodic voice wrapping around words with a lightness that was delightful to hear. "So, what's next?" Alex asked, leaning back in his chair with a smile. "Do we have our own bonding ceremony lessons now?" She looked up at him, eyes sparkling. "Yes. Next dance." Alex chuckled, standing to prepare. "All right then, show me what you've got." Tkala leaped onto his shoulder, her small form swaying as she guided him through rhythmic motions, incorporating elements of human dance with her own fluid movements. To others, it might seem chaotic, but to them, it was a symphony of cultures. But as they danced, shadows loomed larger than the laughter shared in their small quarters. Rumblings and whispers of conflict echoed from a recent dispute between factions of alien races, and Alex couldn't shake the feeling that their unusual bond would soon draw unwanted attention. The Galactic Operations Center had always instilled a sense of duty in him, protecting those who were vulnerable. He glanced down at Tkala, who was lost in the joy of their dance, unaware of the storm brewing on the horizon. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on his shoulders. As their connection deepened, he vowed to protect her at all costs, no matter what challenges awaited them. But tonight, for now, they danced their hearts out, cherishing the fleeting moments of joy and camaraderie, oblivious to the challenges that lay ahead. Weeks turned into a month, and as Alex and Tkala prepared for their unique bonding ceremony, excitement mingled with anxiety. Their dance sessions evolved into carefully crafted steps that blended human tradition with the merry elegance. Each day, Tkala wore a simple, radiant garment that shimmered like starlight against her skin, while Alex donned his uniform, but with heartfelt modifications. An emblematic pin representing their partnership replaced his standard insignia. The night of the ceremony arrived, and anticipation crackled in the air. They had chosen the observation deck of the Galactic Operations Center, a breathtakingly vast space with panoramic views of distant stars and nebulas, a perfect setting for their union under the cosmos. Alex stood at the center, earthy spaces filled with lunar lights from the enhancements he arranged. He surveyed the decorations they'd prepared together. Holographic representations of Tkala's twin moons and swirling galaxies floated around them, shimmering with the promise of their combined traditions. As the first notes of their chosen ceremony song began to fill the air, Tkala emerged from behind a cascade of floating lights. Her ethereal beauty took Alex's breath away. She glided toward him, elegance radiating from her every movement, and he couldn't help but marvel at how fortunate he was to have her by his side. Their song hit a crescendo as they stood facing each other. It was a beautiful mix. Human tones harmonized seamlessly with melody and cadence unique to the Imeri. It stirred something deep within him, a growing sense of belonging, admiration, and love. "Are you ready?" Alex asked, his heart pounding. "Ready," Tkala replied, confidence shining in her eyes as she took his hands in her tiny ones. The ceremony followed a structure that felt both foreign and comfortable. They began with an exchange of words, expressing their intentions and dreams. Alex shared his hopes for their partnership, highlighting adventure, support, and trust. Tkala recited verses from her own culture, words layered with emotion that left Alex breathless. When it came time for the dance, Alex initiated the rhythm according to his culture, each step flowing into Tkala's responses. Their movements became a conversation, a reflection of their unspoken promises, seamlessly blending into a choreography that felt timeless. The song enveloped them, and for a moment, the wonders of the universe faded into the background. It was just them, their connection, pulsating through the cosmos. Laughter erupted between them as they twirled, gaining confidence in their awkwardness. As they approached the final movements, Alex took a deep breath, signaling to Tkala that he was ready to dive deeper into the ceremony. He had prepared a token, a small pendant adorned with earthly symbols, a heart intertwined with a star. "Tkala," he said, kneeling, his voice steady yet full of emotion. "This represents our bond, a symbol of trust, affection, and unity. I want you to have this, a piece of my heart." Tkala's eyes glistened among the starlit backdrop, and for an instant, time felt suspended. "And I too," she replied in her melodic voice, presenting him with a gift of her own. From beneath her garment, she produced a small crystalline orb that glowed with an inner light. "This is a starstone. It represents our shared journeys, illuminating the path of our lives together." The significance nailed both to the ground. They exchanged symbols, sealing the moment with a vow that resonated deep in their hearts. As the final notes of their song resonated through the cosmos, Alex realized this was more than a ceremony. It was a commitment to navigate life together, two souls bound by love and trust. They stepped closer, holding each other tightly, a comforting embrace that brought fulfillment surrounding them. But when the applause erupted from the gathered friends and other comrades, a twinge of unease swept through Alex. Excitement should have filled the air. Instead, he felt a weight on his chest. T'Challa sensed his hesitation, gazing up with her sparkling eyes. "What troubles you, Alex?" "I can't shake the feeling that someone doesn't want us to be happy," he confessed, tethered by worry. Just as the words left his lips, alarms blared through the operations center, shattering the euphoria of the moment. Red lights flashed, illuminating the faces of his colleagues, who immediately shifted into action. "Alex, we have a breach on Quadrant 3. Maya shouted over the din, urgency palpable in her voice. Panic surged through Alex's veins at the threat looming over them. He immediately turned to T'Challa, fierce protectiveness surging within him. "Stay behind me. I'll keep you safe." But T'Challa's response surprised him. "I'm not a burden. I can help," she insisted, eyes blazing with determination. "No, I won't let them take you," he replied, stepping protectively in front of her. T'Challa looked at him, her expression unwavering. "I trust you, but I am not helpless. We fight together." He hesitated for a moment, then steeled himself, recalling their bond, a partnership forged not just in tradition, but in true strength and unity. The alarms blared on, but he felt a surge of determination rising in both of them. "All right," he agreed reluctantly, "but stay close." Just as they moved toward the chaos unfolding, a voice echoed through the comm system. "We have intruders, alien mercenaries seeking to capture the Mary woman. All personnel to defensive positions." The group quickly organized, readying themselves for the impending clash. Waving off the fear creeping through him, Alex tightened his grip on T'Challa's hand, knowing that together they would face whatever storm awaited them. With resolve in their hearts, they headed towards the chaos, ready to protect their new bond and face the oncoming threats together, once and for all. Alex and T'Challa emerged from the chaos of their bonding ceremony, resolve solidified in their hearts. They rushed through the operations center, weaving through startled personnel as alarms blared overhead. As they arrived at the defensive zone, they found the mercenaries engaging in skirmishes with the galactic forces, tension electric in the air. "Remember your training. Stay close," Alex shouted to T'Challa, knowing they would need to work as a team. Standing side by side, they prepared for the inevitable confrontation. Alex grabbed a blaster from a nearby officer, while T'Challa assessed the area, her incisive gaze scanning for any possible advantages. "Let's flank them from behind," T'Challa suggested, her confidence unwavering despite her small stature. "Right. Stick to cover and follow my lead," Alex replied, aware that his own life was at stake alongside hers. They advanced carefully, their hearts pounding as they maneuvered through the chaos. T'Challa exhibited her own remarkable agility, darting through tight spots, her movements fluid, just as Alex had witnessed during their dance together. He marveled that despite the danger, the same excitement from their earlier rituals surged through them now. As they reached a vantage point, Alex spotted the mercenaries, their armor glinting in the overhead lights, intent on their mission. "What's your play?" he asked T'Challa. "Distract. I'll disarm," she said, eyes gleaming with fierce determination. With a nod, Alex unleashed a barrage of blaster fire, drawing the attention of the mercenaries. Their heads turned, exposed and vulnerable. In the chaos, T'Challa worked her magic. With astonishing speed and precision, she deftly weaved through enemy lines, using her native Imeri abilities to disable one mercenary at a time, their weapons falling harmlessly aside. "Nice work," Alex encouraged her, balancing between defense and offense, heart swelling with admiration. T'Challa's combat finesse unveiled a side of her that he had never imagined, strong, brave, and undeniably fierce. As the conflict escalated, one mercenary broke from their ranks, heading straight for T'Challa. She didn't flinch. Instead, she sidestepped skillfully, using momentum to trip him and sending him sprawling onto the ground. "Let's finish this," Alex shouted, adrenaline surging through his veins as he closed in on the last few stragglers. Together, they fought valiantly, an unbreakable team bound by their earlier vows and a shared purpose. At last, after an intense clash, the mercenaries retreated, realizing that they were outnumbered and outmatched. In the aftermath of the chaos, the emergency alarms faded into silence, replaced by cheers from the galactic forces. Victory was theirs. Exhausted but elated, Alex and Tkala shared a breathless moment. The emotional whirlwind of their earlier ceremony felt light years away, overshadowed by the formidable battle they had faced together. "You were incredible," Alex exclaimed, pulling her into a tight embrace. Tkala laughed, her joy evident despite the adrenaline still coursing through her. "You were too. We are strong together, just like the Imeri bond." Returning to the heart of the operations center, they were met with applause from their colleagues. They had not only defended their home, but had also proven that their unconventional partnership was a force to be reckoned with. "Alex Tkala," Commander Alara said, stepping forward with a proud smile. "Your bravery today has shown everyone that strength comes from unity. We need more connections like yours." As the night unfolded, Alex and Tkala shared their stories with the team, recounting the events of the day with humor, laughter, and celebration. It felt like a rebirth. The blending of worlds they had reached epitomized everything they had fought for together. In the following days, as word of the mercenary attack spread, Tkala was hailed as a hero, her bravery front and center. But it was never just about the acclaim. It was about what lay ahead. "Are we ready for the next adventure?" Tkala asked while gazing at the lively starry sky from their usual gaze point. "I'd follow you anywhere," Alex replied, the warmth of her hand in his affirming their bond. As they stood hand in hand, they both understood that their journey was only beginning. The universe was vast and full of mysteries, and they wouldn't face it alone anymore. Their partnership was not just a symbol. It was a living testament to overcoming fears and celebrating differences, an unprecedented alliance between human and Imeri. And with that, they took the leap together, knowing fully that love transcended all boundaries, and the stars above were just the beginning of their wonderfully shared future.